Hey y'all, welcome to T-Ham141 Homestead. My name is Tracy. If this is your first time here, welcome. If it's your millionth time here, welcome back. Sorry I'm squinting. Sun is really bright. I'm making some serious electricity today. I have been talking to people like, man, I wish that I could afford to go solar, to go off grid. And I'm like, man, what are you talking about? It's not that expensive. And they're like, no, $30,000. Okay, if you're talking about going through a company that will give you the electricity that people use on the grid, you might be doing that. If you're talking about a grid tied system, you might be looking at $30,000. But there's another way, and this isn't for everybody. According to my brother Trevor, I have made some concessions that he would not have made. I mean, he can walk out of his house, leave his lights on. He's got a dryer, which I could have a dryer. I just have to run the generator. But anyway, we're gonna start, and I'm going to show you step by step how much my solar system and an even better solar system would cost you right here today. We're going to start with the panels, then we're going to go to the solar charge controller, then we are going to go to my inverter charger that charges off the generator and converts my DC power from my batteries to my AC to run my electric. Then I'll go into some improvements, how much it would cost to have better than what I have, so you don't have to worry about the little thing. All right, let's go ahead and start with the solar panels. I've gotten everything off Amazon. However, you can order direct from Renogy. Something about Renogy that I think is important is when I bought my charge controller, solar charge controller, I bought it from somewhere other than Renogy, and they still helped me figure out how to set it up and everything. Now, this is my latest purchase, my latest upgrade, and they are working great. I am on float very early in the morning. And I'm excited to see how we're going to go once I get into winter. Okay, these cost me, with my Capital One shopping card, $968 for 1,000 watts of power. I put them on my own rack. There's a video that shows all that good stuff. And I'm tickled right pink with them. I started out with used panels. Panels have a life expectancy. They start producing less as time goes on. So when you have these solar farms, they get rid of the old panels. And there's a friend of mine whose son-in-law or whatever worked taking them down and replacing them, and he got them, and I was able to get 4 panels for $100 a piece, and they worked for me for 6 years with no problems. Now these are bifacial, and what bifacial means is when I get snow on the ground, the light will reflect off the snow, and the back of the panels will produce approximately 30% more energy than just the front. Hey y'all, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I come out with new content. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, now you're going to need wire to go from your solar panels into your house. Now the closer your batteries are to your solar panels, the less energy lost through the wires. So these are the wires I used. They've worked really good, and you can't beat the price. I've had it buried in the ground for 6 years since I put the panel rack up. It's been buried in the ground. There's a video on that on my channel also. $61. All right, now we're going to move on to the solar charge controller. What this does is it keeps your batteries from overcharging and shuts off the power to your batteries when they reach what they're supposed to be running at. This is a MPPT. There's also PMW, and I'll explain a little bit of that here. Now, I did a 60 amp. I am on a 12 volt system, by the way. You can actually get better energy savings from your batteries by going 24, 36, or 48 volts. The more volts, the less amps are used. Amps are the power, volts are what pushes the power through, and ohms is the resistance that it goes through, the medium that the electricity goes through creates. So this is today $163. I suggest an MPPT charge controller. There are two types of charge controllers. There is a PWM time, but MPPT is maximum power point transfer, I believe. And what that does is it takes the energy, all of the energy that with a PWM, it will draw, if you have 12 volt batteries, it will draw 12 volts and whatever amps it can right from the solar panels. With an MPPT, it draws the max that the solar panels can take into your charge controller, and then it charges the batteries at the voltage that your batteries can take. All right, now we have the batteries. I use LiFeO4 batteries. They're lithium ion phosphate batteries, and I will never go back to lead acid for this. Even the deep cycle batteries, these hold charge so much longer and so much steadier. They're just awesome. And these are relatively cheap, even though 4 of them can get to be expensive. 200 amp hours, 12 volt. That's what I've got. I wake up in the morning and my batteries are still at 13 volts, which is full. When the sun when it's completely dark out, they're usually 13.2 if they got a full charge on them. And I run my entire house off 4 of these batteries. Now, I have a 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter charger, which means that this hooks to the batteries, then it hooks into my breaker panel. It converts the DC voltage from the batteries to 120 AC that most household items run from. Then, when the batteries are getting low and the sun's not shining in the winter, whatever, for whatever reason, or if I'm doing laundry and I know I'm going to be draining a lot of power, I'll start the generator, and this will also charge the battery from the generator automatically. It's really, really nice. Now, had I to do it over again, I would go from the 2,000 watt to the 3,000 watt. Reason being, if I have a water well pump, a special one, it starts off slow so you don't get that big spike of draw in the very beginning. But if my water well pump, say I go to fill my coffee pot and the water pump kicks on, I put the reservoir back on the coffee pot and hit start, and the heater, electric heat, takes a lot of power. kicks on in the coffee pot, I'm right on the verge of not having enough electricity. Enough 2,000 watts is not quite enough to run my water pump in the well and my coffee pot at the same time. It will do the coffee pot and my electric freezer. I do have a propane refrigerator. That was something that a decision I made. Those are kind of expensive, but it's been working great for almost 10 years now. So $560 for the inverter controller. I'm going to put $200 down for the necessary cables. Okay, for lighting, when we started off, we only had a 200-watt solar panel system, so I went with the Sun King Home 120. These are 200 lumen light bulbs, and I have two of these. I have one for backup, and I use them inside. They work great. You can use them outside also, but I see no reason why not to use them. BioLite. That's similar, I guess, for $149. I'm going to put $149 down for lights because now, with the setup that I have now, I would just go with regular light fixtures in the house and LED lighting. In fact, I might put LED lighting in the kitchen because my solar panels and my solar system now can handle all that. Okay, so the solar panels, 141 plus 61 for the cables, plus 163 for the charge controller, plus 470 times 4 is 1880. I'm just rounding that up to 1900 for the batteries. Plus 560 for the inverter controller. Plus 200 for miscellaneous cables. $4,025. $4,025. That is amazing. Under $5,000 for my system. Now, let's just say I built my solar panel rack out of wood. Well, right here is a mount with a tracking system for $549. You're still under $5,000. So guys, don't let the industrial energy places get you down. Under $5,000, you can have plenty of electricity. Now, you can add more batteries. You can add more, let's just see what a Renogy 3,000 watt inverter charger 12 volt is, because I like 12 volt. It's just simple. $559. Prices are coming down. So you could go 3,000 watt. Then I wouldn't have to worry about my coffee pot and my water pump kicking on at the same time, which is not a big deal. I run laptops, multiple screens for my laptop. I run my TV. Holy cow. I run all sorts of stuff. So guys, don't let them lie to you that, oh, to go off grid is X amount of dollars. You can also, if you're on the grid, you can also do this type of system if you're on the grid and just put a box in where you can shut off the power. You still have to pay for the entrance, the electric wire entrance into your house, but and run off solar. Or if the power goes out, you switch that over. You switch that box because you don't want to backfeed electric into their system. You'll blow everything you got up. But you can run that when the power goes out. You can just flip a switch. It makes it safe to run off your batteries. So yeah, under $6,000, guys. Under $5,000 it was. Under $5,000, you too can be off grid. Be a producer. Hey y'all, I hope this helps. Don't be afraid to go off grid. Become a producer instead of just a consumer. Little by little, what you can do at a time. I started off with a 100-watt system from Harbor Freight for my camper. Guys, y'all have a great day. We love you, and God bless.